Yes, it is justified, but of course we have to keep in mind, as you pointed out rightly, that the scope of this disaster is enormous. So no matter what the initial preparation may have been, in any case, the response was going to be lacking in terms of effectiveness, because we're talking about a geography covering about 450 kilometers, 6,000 buildings that collapsed. So really, you don't have the capacity to respond to this calamity in time. But however, more could have been done, certainly, and that's the reason for the anger. But also, ultimately, the lesson that needs to be drawn from this is that in a country that is prone to see even more earthquakes, given its geography, it is really the policy framework, the governance framework that needs to be reformed, because the way to address this and to mitigate the consequences is through lawmaking and particularly enforcement. And that's really been the sore point for Turkey, as we've seen most tragically on Monday.
Yes, and to that point, there are building regulations that are not adhered to. I understand there's even a tax people pay for earthquake preparedness. So, it feels as if the preparations, the money that is given over is not delivered, and perhaps nothing could have prevented these buildings collapsing. But nevertheless, it doesn't seem as if the government does follow through on those regulations that it puts in place.
That's true. That's been the criticism of the opposition, and I think justifiably so, because Turkey experienced a large earthquake back in 1999. That one was near Istanbul in the Marmara region. And after that, the government indeed launched this tax package, and money was allocated primarily to prepare the country for the risk of an earthquake. But over the years, that budget line has not been used effectively. The money was spent for other purposes like building roads and other government spending, so that today, indeed, a lot of what could have been done within that 23 years was not done. And going forward, of course, the major risk for Turkey is a possible earthquake hitting Istanbul, which is what some of the experts are saying, that this may be inevitable in the years to come.
Yeah. Twitter appeared to have been blocked at some point during these criticisms. We know that Erdogan has ruled with such an iron fist. He's been censoring, he's thrown, people who oppose him into jail. Does he have to be very careful at a time like this, how he manages this kind of crisis? Because he could face quite an uprising.
Well, I mean, the main risk for the government here is really that Turkey will have a set of very critical elections, twin elections, actually. At the latest in mid-June, the slated date before was even mid-May, before the earthquake. So the backlash will certainly be severe if, in the days and weeks to come, the government does not considerably improve its performance. So the main risk politically, therefore, for Erdogan and the government is that this backlash could lead them on a downward trend ahead of very critical elections.
Yeah. Talking of those elections, is there a real opposition in Turkey?
There is this time around. Before, of course, the opposition was weak and fragmented. But this time around, there is indeed a united opposition. And even more importantly, within the united opposition, there are candidates which in the polls are more popular than Erdogan. And these are primarily the two mayors, the Istanbul mayor and the Ankara mayor, are by a margin more popular than Erdogan. And then the leader of the opposition, of the main opposition, is neck to neck. So we still don't know who the common candidate of the opposition shall be, but nonetheless today is this is an unprecedented situation for Turkish politics, where you indeed have opposition leaders that poll better than Erdogan himself.
Yeah, that's a fascinating time and such a difficult crisis. Good to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.